Revival itself is what is referred to as resurrection. When a man is dead and he needs to resurrect, what he experienced in resurrection is what is referred to as a revival. So the reason why there has to be a revival is because certain people are dead. And they may not be dead physically, but they are dead spiritually. There is an adumbration, a deviation from the pattern upon which God has established. And just because we call a program revival doesn't mean that we can actualize the reality of the revival. There has to be a consciousness upon the heart of men to come into an experience so that they can be able to walk with God to achieve the context of it. Because the goal of the revival is not a program in itself. The goal of the revival is the activation for men to come into the reality. So even if we don't have a program and men are woken onto the consciousness of Christ in their territory, revival has happened. So even if somebody did not come into this chapel at this point and is in his hostel, and he may be with a lady in the hostel, like the drama unit said, the first drama unit, right? They said a guy said he was in the hostel. Revival was going on here, and he was in the hostel, and he missed the revival. And the most painful part was that he said he was upon a damsel. So the gods are wise, and they knew that far beyond him missing a program, there has been an exchange of ordination. Because what he lost was not that he missed a program. What he lost was what a program may never give him. So, but if he is not in the program and is in his hostel, and he understands the verve in the spirit and is able to transport beyond that realm, it's possible for him to touch the reality of revival, and we that may be present in this program and never touch it. So I'm trying to let you understand that it's possible for someone that has not even come to this program to be in his hostel and hear the sound of the clarion call for a reawakening, and you that you are here, you may hear nothing. So you must be able to understand that when God positions you, it's so that you can be able to perceive. Because it's possible to be a part of a generation that God is working with, and you will never advance with them. Never. So don't think that just because you are part of a program, you are part of a conference, you partake of the reality of it. Is a lie. I have known a long time ago that programs don't change men. It's only an encounter with God that changes men. You can never count the amount of the numbers of programs you have ever attended, but you can count the number of encounters you have ever had. While I began journeying God, there is no place I did not go to. Even fake place, I went there. They told me it's fake. I said, let me just go and see for myself. So as you are advancing, the desire, the passion in you will make, if it is program, you will attend so many. But after a while, you will now begin to measure your life by the quality of your encounters. Because those are the things that define your ordination and give you direction. So you must be able to understand that if you find yourself within a program such as this, it's not about MTN. It's not even about the sound of the revival. It's about your ordination and your calling in God. And if you cannot hear the sound proceeding from heaven, after the program is over, you will return back the same thing. And that's the greatest challenge. So I want your heart to be open, so that beyond what I'm saying, beyond what I'm trying to communicate, you should be able to hear a sound beyond me that can be able to guide your life aright. Go with me to the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24 from 12. Matthew 24 from 12. Matthew 24 from 12. Media, are we there? The Bible says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Advance. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Let me return to my own. Okay. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached into all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. I had an encounter with the Lord, and he told me, Philip Cephas, there is a need to raise an uproar for revival. When you begin to see increase in the activity of Christianity, it's not to grow a church. When you begin to see men coming into the kingdom, sir, it's not to fill the chapel with an overflow. When you begin to see many people get born again, it's not so that one person can have a name. It's because God is looking for a way to bring an end to the entirety of creation. Revival, the goal of revival is to bring men unto God, so that God can bring an end to creation. From the very beginning, creation began in obedience to God. Disobedience crept into creation because of the mistake of Adam. But the intention of God was not that Adam remain in rebellion. Why? Iniquity abound, and because iniquity abound, the love of many for God was cold. It was not the plan of God that the love of people should was cold. What God wanted was that he created people that should love him unconditionally, as he loved them unconditionally, to the intent that from the bounties of that love, he can transfer his possibility to them, so that they can become carriers of him. God did not transfer himself to you because you prayed. He didn't even transfer himself to you because you fasted. He transferred himself to you because he loved you. And because God loved you, he is transferring himself to you so that you can also become a carrier of who he is. God does not just exist in a confines of power. God does not just exist in a confines where men know a thing. He exists upon a place where he is Lord and God of all. And in the place where God is Lord of all, is a place where men love him. The revival is of prayer, is of knowledge. But there is something that will keep men in the days of revival, is their love for God. Everyone that has ever died spiritually, once upon a time prayed, once upon a time was wise. But there is something that happened to their love for God. They wake up one day, they cannot understand why their love for God begin to wax cold. The Bible says because iniquity abounds in their heart. And one of the greatest traps of the enemy is to bring us to a point where we are laden with all kinds of iniquity. The word iniquity there is actually the infirmities of men. How a man can journey to a point where there are all kinds of complications in his life that has the ability to make him look upon God and say God is nothing.